You're watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.
As consumer behavior shifts within retail automotive, so do the marketing strategies. Today we're learning how dealership marketing strategies are evolving to stay ahead of the curve and where things might be headed for 2024. Joining us now is April Simmons, who's the Corporate Internet and Marketing Director at Horne Auto Group. Thank you so much, April, for spending some time with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm excited about the conversation and excited to join you.
Great. So first and foremost, how are things at the group? How are sales?
You know what? Sales here are really great. Obviously, like everywhere in the country, we're starting to feel a little bit more of the squeeze. We're starting to get a lot more vehicles piling up on the lots, and it's starting to feel a lot like 2018-19 at this point.
So as the Corporate Internet Marketing Director, do you feel a little bit more stress these days than you did maybe 2 years ago?
You know what's funny is yes in some ways, and in some ways no. I think now is the time where the appreciation for what it is that we do to help drive the business and the partnership that's important with me and my stores is actually on the forefront. So
Sure.
as long as they don't come in saying let's just cut everything because
That's right.
things aren't working and we try to save ourselves the bottom line by cutting the thing that actually drives the business. So
That's right.
That's the only thing we have to remind people sometimes.
No question about it. You are a very integral part now of their success because it's not the last few years, and marketing managers know that where now it's really all about reaching that customer where they want to be reached and bringing that customer in, whether they call, click, or walk in the front door. And you become the most important person in that general manager's life, right? To say we need the traffic, we need accountability, and from all indications, you do an excellent job of that. So thanks for spending some time with us. So how would you describe the current state of automotive marketing right now? I know it's a very broad statement, but
You know it is. I just coming back from NADA, and one of the things that I noticed this year is that there's a lot of dealers going back to their old habits of being reactive. And what I mean by that is in marketing or in their processes, rather than really building a strong, solid foundation and working on blocking and tackling and processes and making sure that those things are all shored up and ready to rock, we kind of have this tendency to go look for the shiny new object or go try to find the thing that I can just, write you a check and you will fix it. And all of a sudden, the pixie dust will fall from the sky and everything's going to
Sure.
sell cars and be awesome. So that has been one of my fears kind of going into 2024 is that is where we're headed. And I saw a lot of it,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, no question. How does the shift in consumer behavior and preferences influence your marketing approach?
I actually was really thankful for our group that over the last couple of years, because we weren't in that desperate mode to sell cars, so we weren't trying to spend a ton of money at the bottom of the funnel, whether it be in search marketing or whether it be in mailers and that sort of thing. I really had the opportunity to do what I always wanted to do, which was to really build that solid foundation. We worked really hard on our websites, leveraging our group inventory. We worked a lot harder on Google Business Profile pages and just having all the SEO and all of the strong foundation so
Sure.
that now, as we're ready to head into 2024, we are primed to be able to go further up the funnel and start grabbing customers and having conversations with them long before they're actually ready to pull the trigger and buy a car.
Yeah.
What I am seeing in consumer behavior is actually that it hasn't really changed. I think that there was a lot of news out there that the consumer behaviors had changed a lot, but that was because they were forced to change. It wasn't necessarily, I think, that they all wanted to change. And my data is showing me that customers still want to come to the dealership for the majority. They still want to have a human that sits down with them and walks them through the process, make sure that they're making the decision that's best for them and their family. And that's what I'm actually seeing. Now that I talk to a lot of people across the country, I put my little disclaimer on that. In my backyard, from where I sit, this is what I see.
Sure. And you would agree, though, that all consumers now want that process from their online experience to be seamless so that when they do get to the dealership, it is with a welcome arm and saying, yes, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, we've got everything ready for you, and we see what you've done online, and we've been communicating, rather than, oh, who are you? Oh, what are you here to do? Oh, what is your name? Well, let me get to social, what's your, and they're like, you got to be kidding me. We did all of that time, spent all that time online. We thought we had this, and we're going to walk in, and we're going to save hours of time to cut right to the chase, look at the car. I approve the car. Yes, that's the payment. Let's go ahead with it. So, right, you'd agree with that, right? That they want
100%, but I think I don't think that that's new. I think that that's been, at least 10 years plus that customers have had that expectation, and we've maybe failed them. So at this point, perhaps it's not so much that they've changed, it's just that we're starting to realize, what are we doing here? We should be having a proper baton toss, right?
That's right.
Why are we dropping the baton as the customer's coming in from that online to in the showroom process?
Yeah, for sure. There's no question. So, and it happened to me personally. I mean, I was shopping for a car, for my daughter, and just graduated college, and you do a lot online. You walk in, they start the ball all over again. You're like, what are you doing right now? And it's just going to take a minute. Don't worry about it. I know, I'm sorry about that. And you're just going, you want to pull your hair out of your head, to think, wow, this doesn't have to be this way. It's 2024. But let me ask you this. What strategies have you found to be most effective in reaching and engaging with Gen Z buyers out there?
Truthfully, a lot of it is just the same stuff. It's really just utilizing social media, going out there and being in front of them. And here's the thing with social media. I think I talk a lot about social media as well, about customers getting in front of them. There's organic social media, and then there's paid social media.
Right.
And just like people at this point, I think most people understand the difference between SEM and SEO.
Right.
They fail in the space of social media on the difference between organic social and paid social. So paid social, just like SEM, you're putting out your offers. I'm coming to tell you who I am.
Sure.
The organic stuff, that foundational stuff, is that once a consumer clicks on your Facebook page, now they're trying to decide, are you the human I want to buy the car from?
Right.
And Gen Z buyers, they're looking at stuff like, hey, are you a good human? Are you fun? Am I going to have a good time coming to buy a car from you? And if you have no content on your page that showcases that, that's kind of where we fail. Websites don't have really the opportunity for you to do the first couple steps of the sale. I believe the steps of the sale are the same as they've been since 1970, right? You have a meet and greet, and right behind that is sell yourself, sell the dealership, build rapport. Well, how are we doing that digitally today? Mm-hmm. As we sit here in 2024, those things still matter. So before a customer is going to show up in your physical showroom, we still have to find a way to build that rapport with the consumer. And that is the part that I think is really important in your marketing strategy. Mm-hmm. Is it's not even so much about branding as it is actually showing who you are.
Yeah, for sure. I would imagine you've got a chat capabilities on your website, right?
Absolutely.
That to me seems to be so vitally important now, right?
If you haven't had chat for at least the last 10 years, like go right now, stop watching this video, and reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'll tell you some of the best ones out there. Okay.
But then there's chat on sites, and then there's chat. And what I mean by that is that if it's just the standard one that drops down to go, how can I help you, right? And it doesn't really help you. The AI involved in that might be antiquated or what have you, where you're like, we've all seen that before. But if I'm going to chat with somebody, that AI better be really good. And when I'm ready to talk to an individual, or I should say, when the questions get a little deeper and a little bit more involved, it seems to me it's got to get moved over to either a sales associate or a BDC operator,
You bring up a super, super great point. In fact, I'm actually part of a clubhouse on Wednesday mornings called the Human Side of AI. Because like I had started, AI, people, this buzzword like, oh, well, great, now I don't need humans anymore. It's just going to do all the work. Well, AI's been around for a while, and conversational AI through the chat programs was one of the first places, that we witnessed it. human interaction still always will be the number one way that consumers need that information. And primarily with our sites, we have live chat of my own agents. So as long as it's possible, one of my humans inside the store is actually the person chatting with you on the other side of the website. Now, if they can't answer, or it's 2 o'clock in the morning, then yeah, the AI is going to do its best opportunity it can to answer those simple questions and try to take care of the consumer at that time. But then the next day, a human's going to pick that ball up and say, oh, great, they answered the question. I don't need to necessarily worry about it. Maybe just a quick follow-up, or no, I need to reach out to this person ASAP because they've got an issue or a question that the AI couldn't handle.
Sure. And people, I mean, obviously everyone enjoys chat. Everybody enjoys text messaging. So I'd much rather somebody text me the deal or the options or the trade allowance or whatever the case might be versus calling me, because obviously I can take that text message anywhere, Plus, I don't want to
get. Can you say that louder for the GMs in the back?
You know why? Because they're still get the guy in, get the girl in, whatever we got to do.
Call.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's another issue I see out there that I think, because where we are in 2024 with technology, that don't use that chat to go, hey, welcome to the dealership. When's a good time for you to come in and take a look at the car? But you didn't give me enough information yet, right?
You didn't earn the right. You
didn't earn the right. Exactly.
No.
And people.
And the first question should be, right? How do you want me to talk to you? Do you want me to talk to you via text?
Right.
Do you want me to talk to you via email?
Very
or do you
good
want me
question.
To pick up the phone and call you?
Yeah.
So
very good
if
question.
we're not asking that out of the gate, that's step one. We talk about meeting the customer where they're at. Well, that's number one. How do they want to communicate with you? Just ask, and they'll usually tell you.
That's right. Do you say the majority is probably text message, or what?
Absolutely.
It is?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say at this point, even people, even our baby boomers now.
Yeah.
Oh, just text me.
Oh, yeah. I'm a baby boomer. I text all day long. I'll do the whole deal on text if I can.
Exactly.
So real quick, and I only have a limited time left, but and I'm going to ask you a very loaded question here. Any specific marketing you're doing to get rid of those EVs in the back lot there? Yeah, you knew what I was going to say.
Yeah, you know what? So we've done some creative things with trying to move the EVs. What we've done is gone a little bit out of maybe the area where my dealership is to target. So we have looked at the map and said, where do I see the majority of the chargers at? Because that is probably where there is a larger demographic for people who are wanting to look at purchasing.
That's good. Yeah, it's a good idea.
And then somewhat going after those areas.
Sure.
and trying to, if we need to ship it or bring it to you, doing some of those kind of strategies.
Sure.
And then outside of that, it's like 2018 all over again. It's big discounts and please buy them.
Yeah.
Sort
I know,
of blocking and tackling and then education. I think a lot of it is education also. What is the difference between a hybrid versus an EV versus a gas vehicle, and does it work for the consumer? Unfortunately, I think the supply and demand is completely out of whack in that space. So this just goes to prove that the OEMs will need us dealers to really help move those inventories.
There's no question about it. I would love to have you back because I want to get your answer on this question. Do you think that, and be thinking about it, same goes for our viewers, do you think the sales department could possibly be part of the problem, not the solution, in getting rid of the EVs? And what I mean by that is 33 million people in the last 30 days searched information about buying an EV on Google, and those numbers came from Google. 33 million, okay? But yet we did not sell that many EVs. So ponder that, and we will we will talk about that, because that's a whole nother show, right?
It is. It really, really is. And I have a lot of information on that, and I've done a lot of research. So I'd love to have that conversation.
Well, great, because my producer's in the control room writing this down right now, so she's got to reach out to you. So this was great. April Simmons, Corporate Internet and Marketing Director at Horne Auto Group. Thank you so much for all the time you've given us, and I can't wait till our next conversation. So thank you.
Same. Appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Thanks. You too.
Thanks for watching Inside Automotive with Jim Fitzpatrick.